Hi everybody. My name is Pacharee. Nickname is Nui. My last name is Pantoomano. And thanks for coming on today. And today's webinar is about Thai cultural beliefs and its impact on business. As someone who grew up outside, I left Thailand in 1976 and returned in 1997. I am what you would call somebody at that crossroad, between East and West. I'm bilingual and I've worked in both countries. And just to share a little bit of my background, so you can see I started working in the US with Destin Furnishing, later with the US Department of Commerce. But by 1997, I came and started working at Lucent Technologies, and then all the way up to today, which is 2026 now. And I have a few of my own companies. So I'm a serial entrepreneur and a regular builder of things. I find a lot of joy in bringing things into fruition. So now we're going to take you through some of the things about the Thai cultural beliefs. All right, so here we are. And how they impact the business. Now, this is going to have a little bit of something a little bit different. I remember when I first returned to Thailand, somebody said, "Oh, do you know Dr. Holmes? And he has this wonderful book called Working with the Thais." And I remember getting a copy of the book and reading through it because, as somebody who grew up outside, I kind of like have half the knowledge. And then there were gaps also in my knowledge as well, right? Because when you're dealing with your own family or extended families who are Thai, they tend to be a bit more forgiving of you versus when you're doing business professionally in the Thai market. So here are some of the things that we're going to go through, and some of it you may have come across before, or some of it may be new to you, or maybe some of it you may have noticed but didn't know what it was. So we can talk about it. All right, so next slide, please. So initially, when I had this conversation, I gave the table of content to share with Olivier, and he was saying to me how he says, "Oh, this is a little different than the traditional way of looking at Thai cultural belief." And I do want to bring this up because, as I mentioned, Dr. Holmes' book before, Working with the Thais, it's very heavy on, working on it in a very professional way and in a very corporate way. And of course, this still applies, like respecting hierarchy. We are about, when there's a senior person in the room, we pay our respects, we why, because this heavily influences us. And then I think you probably already come across the Sanuk side of Thais, but then there's also the Mai Pen Rai of that as well. And then there's the whole saving face. We don't want to embarrass or humiliate people in a group or in a crowd setting because we want to prioritize harmony. And then the way the Thais like to make decision is through a bit of a consensus process, because we want to take, it's a bit of an inclusive way of doing things. Thais are still in many ways, the behavior of the culture is still very tribal, very communal. So it wants to be inclusive. So the way that it's organized is around that inclusivity, one wanting to hear what everybody has to share and say. But then, of course, coming back to the hierarchy, always the senior has the more weight than, I would say, like the junior person. So this is like just some of the things coming from working with the Thai book by Dr. Holmes. But today I'm going to share with you some other interesting things that I don't think has been written before, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I could compile them and eventually turn them into a book, because it's also fun for me to learn them as well, because originally my family's from Isan. So when I was born, I spent the first formative, 5-6 years there, and then I left. And then coming into the central area, there's also other beliefs that are a bit more influenced by other cultures, like the Chinese culture, the Indian culture, and then also the Southern has its own flavor as well. When we worked with Grab, one of the things that we did was to make the brand more fun and make it shareable. So this is some of the interesting things, but we're not here to talk about their case study in depth, but it was just to show, how this brand is connecting. And then there's also another side. There's a very B2C side. There's also another side of it where it's very B2B, the way that they connect and help the drivers, so for those who may have lived here long enough, you probably have come across there's a tradition of boat share, where everybody kind of like contributes to kind of like a pot of money, and then you use that money either to go out to entertain each other or to help each other out, when there's a stressful situation. That happened to me in the US when I had a car accident, and it was declared a no fault. And my father at the time was the president of the Thai Association in DC. And then so they pulled what they call a dot chair, and they helped me to get my car repaired, because I'm part of the Thai community in DC. So this is just to share with you some of the other things that's outside of the slides. I was even thinking today I was going to talk about how Thais love crystals, because especially some of the people who have been to the weekend market, you will see there's oftentimes a lot of crystals in, whether Thai Chinese will wear crystals as well as the Indians, or they'll have like big pieces of crystals in their office. But anyway, I'll leave that for later. So next slide, please. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this presentation has a bit of a Thai and Chinese Indian influence in the business. And I'll share with you why. So the Thai Chinese make up around 10 to 14% of the population, but they control roughly 70 to 85% of the private economy. And these are some of the conglomerate, like the CP Group, the Central Group, the Bangkok Bank, Thai Bev, SEG. The Indians are around 0.1% of the population, and they're dominant in the textile, hospitality, gym, jewelry, as well as real estate. I know a gentleman who insures the Indian business owners, and a lot of them are many of the buildings, even you've probably been in them, but they're managed by like the Marriott, so the Movenpicks and the the IHG. So Thai Chinese adopt the names. So it's to blend in the Buddhist and the Chinese practices. So if you have like a last name that's, at least 3 to 8 syllables, if you will, chances are, or ending with Wong, is probably a Thai Chinese family. I recently just discovered that I have a lot of Chinese blood in me, but my last name is not very Thai Chinese, but actually it was through a DNA testing, because my children wanted to know how much European or Thais or mixed they were. And so we did the DNA thing, but that's a conversation for another day. So business shapes, it's by the family network, the Guangxi, the personal network, and the entrepreneurial culture. So this is how we built up these things, but it's also based on our experience of when we help around 40 business and brands launch in Thailand, and pointing some things out to them that they didn't know before. And then later it became part of the way that they did business. And we thought that was an intelligence, cultural intelligence that helped our clients. And we also wanted to share this with other people. Next slide, please. All right. Have you been to the four-way intersection of the Erewhon Shrine? If you don't know what it's called, and you might have walked past it, basically it's a four-faced Buddha. It's from the Brahmin belief. And this intersection also, there's a big thread that goes, I think, from the central world to the Hyatt, the Erewhon Shrine, and then to the Gaesorn. And this is where a lot of prayers happen, and you usually see a lot of vendors around where they're doing flowers and other things that you can buy for offers. And businesses will sponsor offerings, whether it's for their anniversaries, executives will go to visit before a major decision. They will ask for things. So say, for example, they're on the precipice of signing a very major contract. So maybe the executive and their leadership team may go and ask that, everything goes smoothly. And then what they do is they say, if it goes smoothly, I will come back and gift you dancers. So you will see on the side there are Thai drumming bands, and then there are also dancers, and then you have to pay for them. I'm not sure that they're like all the time, but usually when I walk past on the weekends, I usually see it. And it's a big tourist opportunity. I think it's in many of the guides online, like TripAdvisors and so on and so forth. Next, please. Okay, so they go there to make the offering. Okay, so the prayers that are answered, you must return the offering. And now, as a foreigner, if you are asked to go because you're part of the deal, then yes, because that's because they consider you as part of the team. So this is something that you want to consider going and co-participating. And then when your wish has been granted, you also need to provide the gift. Because the thing is, if you are granted and you do not go and make good on the offer that you had initially made, then they said that the energy, the powers that be, could also take it away as well. I've heard of some very funny things, like people going at midnight to do dancing in their bikinis, things like that. So because that's what they had offered. Next, please. Okay. Putting food in the entryway. Um, this is a Thais have a belief in animus, so there's a belief in general energy in the unseen. So most shops will have some kind of offering. So in the doorway, there it could be an incense, or the incense may have burned away. As a foreigner or a guest of the kingdom, my suggestion is to walk around it. Don't think like picking it up. Don't kick it. Don't try to throw it away, because the shop may actually get offended. It is on the ground most of the time. So it's ensuring the prosperity and success for the shop and maintaining harmony of the energy in the area. So that's part of the reason for the offering. Next, please. Okay. You will see some of these offerings will consist of rice, fruit, knom, which is some form of sweets, or even flowers. And sometimes I've seen stray dogs and stray cats and other animals that pass by. So as I mentioned, what is the business application? So as somebody who you may or may not know about it, it's just to be respectful to it, because this is usually done by the morning and often is cleared away later during the day. Next, please. Face reading. I wonder if this has happened to you. It has happened to me. So the origin is a Chinese practice, and it's basically identifying how your face reveals certain characters about your success, your health, your ability to be prosperous. So many of the Thai Chinese businesses will have a face reader to look at. In the West, when we send our resumes and things like that, normally we don't include our photos. You might include your LinkedIn, and then in your LinkedIn you may have a photo of yourself. But in Thailand, usually if you don't have a photo, they will ask you to send a photo, because they want to see you before they request for initial interview or a phone interview or something like that. Often it's applied to like mid-level to senior level, because they want to see what is, as you can see, I don't read Chinese, but some of these markers are an indication of your character. So let's go to the next slide, which gives a bit more information about this. Okay, for example, a wide forehead indicates intelligence, leadership, so executive potential. What do you think? It's my, I have a potential leadership. Large bright eyes, meaning, there's vitality, you can trust this person. They can be somebody that's customer facing. High defined nose has determination, ability to accumulate wealth. Round lips, generosity, responsibility, can have good leadership. Strong jawbone, a character of determination and resilience when, times are hard. And also, if you have low set ears, then it means you have good earth energy and you make grounded decision. So I remember my mom also took me to do a face reading, and he says, "Oh, this girl, she has a mole here, and I think she'll be a good presenter, or at least a good talker." So next slide, please. Okay. So success marker, strength, lower ears, additional factors. Yeah. Making sure that you're suitable for the role. So practical advice for non-ties. You don't want to miss this because they may be looking at you. So you want to make yourself, presentable and be aware that there's sensitivity towards your appearance. And because it's going to influence whether you get hired or they will have a partnership with you. Next, please. Okay, feng shui. This came into my life, I think, when I bought my first house in Thailand back in 2003. Prior to that, I hadn't give a whole lot of thought to it, but I remember when I used to live in condos and apartments, just going into some places where you feel like, oh, the energy isn't flowing here, something feels stuck, right? So in feng shui, the feng shui master is called Sinsa. And so basically what they're with their help, they look at how to increase the flow of the energy or the chi into the space so that, there's more positive energy coming in to especially the office, and also giving vitality to the people in the office, whether, it's the leader of the company, the team, anybody that, enters the space to do business with the company. So it's to enhance harmony. And so this is applied from homes as well as to offices and commercial spaces like in a mall. And it influences how the office gets laid out. We recently moved into our office space at Liberty Plaza in August 2025. And yeah, I had a compass. I don't have the big one, but I generally, because I'm from the East House, so I look at how, where is the chair. The way I'm facing right now, although I have my window behind me, but as you can see, I have a tree. So that's also my backer. But actually, when I work, I work like this, and the wall is technically behind me. So I do it here. I would say 75% of the time to the feng shui about how I do the layout of my desk, and I try to avoid cluttering my space too much. And also adhering to, because they will give you a schedule of which to avoid doing some renovations for certain years and certain periods. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the Bakwa map. So it tells you how to optimize. I don't know how to read this. So if this is something truly of interest, I do know people who are connected to Sinsa, and there are apps actually nowadays, like kind of like DIY feng shui. So what you need to be aware of is like how you sit. Where's your front entrance if you're coming from the east or the west house? And where's your wealth corner, your career corner, and also colors that creates harmony for the year. Like right now, we're about to enter the year of the fire horse. So I was at a recent networking lunch with a feng shui master. Her name is Shivani, and she gave like 2 A4 pages of things, do's and don'ts for the year of the fire horse. So I think you will hear more and more of that as because I think next week is Chinese New Year already. So there you go. Next, please. So you know what? One of the things is you want to choose colors that aren't gonna clash with you. Because if you're more the water element, so if the more you have like fire around you, there could be some clashes. So there's so much details in feng shui. There's the productive cycle and the destructive cycle. Anyway, next slide, please. So I just went through this with you guys already. Desk positioning, how you face your desk. Don't clutter. You want to have a lot of natural light. So my workspace usually has a lot of natural light as well as light for when the sun isn't up, and color choices. Don't, right, exactly. One of the things is like don't have especially in your house, they say like your front door should not be facing directly to your back door because they say like anything good coming in will also go completely out. Any overhead beams, they say it causes pressure and stress. A mirror facing your desk could also deflect anything positive, and then any block pathways and stuff like that. It's going to cause stuck energy in your business or in your home. As a matter of fact, as we're leading up to the fire horse, I've been decluttering a lot. I've got 2 big boxes that I've got to move out and make donations on. So I'm going to get that done over the next few days. Next, please. Okay, ghost months. In case some of you did not know, this is September, October, where the belief is that spirits roam freely. So you want to avoid major launches, any office relocation, contract signings, any, getting married. What you should do is increase more offering, making merit, religious activities, and be conservative in your decisions. Next slide, please. Okay. Other practices, what you want to do is, as I said, earlier, about making more merit. So that means, going to the temple, offering food. Even if you're not able to go to the temple, you potentially do that at your spirit house. I believe every compound, every building, I have yet to see one that does not have a spirit house. We're going to see a photo of a spirit house in case if you haven't come across one yet, or maybe you've come across it and didn't know what they were called. There's a Hungry Ghost Festival, so it has elaborate altars as well. So companies should also be making offerings, especially if the staff are talking about it, because it is also affecting them psychologically. Next slide, please. Okay. Ghost month taboo. So as you can see, no starting new business, weddings, moving relocations, evening photos, because you could be capturing photos of spirits. There was a famous Thai movie about a photographer. When he took a photo, he would see like ghosts. Water activities, because there could be danger around that. And then front row seats, because you want to reserve it for, yeah, the energies, the spirits. Next, please. So, you want to look in the Thai Chinese culture, you want to look at the auspicious days, right? So, it's like, look, Yamdi. So, if you ever been to Chinatown, there's like in Sampang, they will have these calendars, and I used to get them all the time, especially when I was in corporate, because admin would actually pick them up because I was usually head of marketing, and I always had to double check if that was a good day for us to do something with a client, to have an event, to sign a contract. So have to align the timing as much as possible for it to be auspicious. And some of you guys may also have friends who have given birth in Thailand. There's also auspicious timing, date and time, based on the woman and the man, the mom and the dad, when they should actually give birth. So for better or for worse, there tends to be a lot of cesareans on auspicious days. So this also applies back into the business for business opening, moving offices, making any major purchases, or doing contracts. Why? Because we want to avoid any bad energy. We don't want to offend the bad energy. We want to attract good fortune, ensure success, and we want to keep harmony with the tradition. If they tend to vanish over time. Do they? I still see it, but I don't know if it's because of the group. As I mentioned, I'm in 4 women entrepreneur groups that meet monthly, and a lot of them have Thai Chinese business ladies as well as Thai Indians business ladies. So they're actually quite, yeah, it's still quite common for me to see and hear. Even if I'm not asked to participate, I'll hear the stories. Like Wamina would, I'll just say things like, "Hey, how you been?" And then they would tell me something like, "Oh, I just had a office blessing ceremony recently because it's our company anniversary, or we went and made some kind of offering, or we're about to sign a contract, and I think I want to go to the temple and make some merit." These kinds of things. So here are some Thai auspicious calendar days. So as you can see, มหาสิทธิโชค ทองชัย โลกนิมิตเลิศ รัชพฤกษ์ well, I really need to see this in actual Thai spelling to pronounce it correctly. I feel like when I read it in English, it's a bit of a karaoke. Bumi Palo, David. Yeah, so these are some days for you to keep in mind. If you guys have any questions in between, you want me to answer something as we go through these slides, feel free to do like Sylvian and type it in. Next, please. All right. So the Thai Chinese belief system is belief in doing things to, it has auspicious timing, right? So there is zodiac between the Chinese zodiacs. It's a little different because I remember even reading, they will have some astrology to it. It's a little slightly different from the Western calendars. Okay. So normally when the sincere, which is the feng shui master, or the people who are the practitioners of these type of things, they will look at the date and the birth time of the founder, and they will align it to that person or the key management people, so that they don't want to avoid any form of clashes. I was studying some stuff with Lillian too. I don't know if you've come across her. She's a famous Malaysian Chinese feng shui master out of Malaysia, and she's published something like 20 plus books about feng shui. And she talks about how when she worked on her house, she's from the east house and her husband's from the west house, so they have separate entrances. So when people are feeling very strong about this, they will literally make these types of adjustments within their home or in their offices, so that it's creating a good positive energy for them. Numerology wise, in the Thai Chinese system, 8, which is, if you look at from the side, is infinity. So it means prosperity. Number 4 is avoided because actually when you say C means death in Chinese. And so essential steps for you to consider when, if you have staff and you have business partners who are Thai Chinese, is to consult with Sinsay and look at standard practices, because later there's going to be payoffs. And also they're going to feel that, oh, you respect the things that they respect. Is there another question here? Oh, no. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Days of the week. In case you didn't know, I think Olivier may know, days of the week, they have different colors. So I remember when Rama 9 is the king who passed away a few years ago. He was born on a Monday, and I remember on a Monday, many of the senior managers in our office would wear a yellow shirt, uh, and they would have the like luck Paul or something like this on the shirts because you get it from Father's Day. And so there you go. You have the different days of the week have colors, they have planets, they have traits, and what they are good for. So I think we're gonna run out of time soon. So I want to speed up to be able to get through the entire presentation. I think we're just about halfway mark. So next, but feel free to ask me any questions or take a screenshot. Okay. This also ties her into Duduang. So if you've been to a Thai temple, not all Thai temples, many Thai temples have these sticks where you have like a big bamboo and then you shake it, and then when a stick comes out, it has a number and it matches to something, and then they would tell you what is your luck for today. Sometimes it's not necessarily luck. Sometimes you could also get warnings as well. So Duduang is like, it's a form of fortune telling. It is also tied back into Hinduism and Buddhism. And it also includes like tarot and astrology. And it's, the moon cycle is very important for our calendars. As you probably notice, if you have ever received a calendar, the Thai calendar, you will see when the full moon is. And many of our holidays is around full moons, right? So like Loi Krathong, which is when we do the krathong which is made out of the bamboo, sorry, not the bamboo, but the banana leaves. Or sometimes you can get like the baking, it's like lotuses, but it's made from a bread that you can put a candle and an incense, and then you put it in the water. So for business integration, it's not a hobby, but it's an essential business tool. Coming back again for anything that's like for major stuff, major contract signing, office moving, mergers, partnerships. So, and monks blessing amulets. When I was young and I used to wait for my grandfather to return from his work. He was the headmaster of a school. He had a necklace that had like a whole bunch of amulets, and he would take them off after he comes back from just to change his clothes and things like that. And he also had a bunch of the Buddhist tattoos. We're not going into the tattoos today because there's a lot of meanings in them, but I remember, yeah, he had a lot of tattoos across his chest as well as across his back. Next, please. Oh, by the way, the tattoos are for luck and protection. Especially, I think, for the Thai men who go to the temple where that's part of the practice where they do the tattooing by hand. Okay, coming back to Do Duang. When do Thais consult fortune tellers? I've mentioned this already. Launching, weddings, office location, partnerships. Protective items are going to be amulets, also tattoos, and it's common worn. You may have even seen like when people go to the temple, they'll also get the thing from the monks. It's like a blessed thing where they tie them, and then they will also bless. It's a piece of robe, it's this white one. My daughter got one at a temple before she went back to school at the end of the year. So advice for the non-Thais, you don't dismiss this practice, is, want to be respectful and allow the time and the space for that consultation and also be patient because it's going to affect your scheduling as well. And in the West, there tends to be this like, we got to schedule this and it has to be within this time. But sometime in the East, it's not what happens. Next, please. Okay, Nang Quack. I have one. I have to find a space for her to bring her back into the office. So you might have seen the lucky cat. So the Nang Quack is also similar to the lucky cat. It's Buddhist and Hindu, and it's for business prosperity. So normally she's sitting and she's waving beckoning for the business to come, for the clients to come. So it's to attract wealth and welcome guests into the space. Next, please. And if you bank with SCB, you've probably seen this one. What's the name, Fluke, of the Nangkwak from SCB?
Meh, something I forgot it.
Can you look it up and tell us and put it in the chat? Thank you.
Yes.
So, yeah, usually you will see. So, if you go to the weekend market or any of the shops, there's usually if they're an SCB customer, there's usually the Nangkwak, and then there's the QR code right in front of her. So, what do you want to do for your Nangkwak when you have one, right? I'm not talking about the one that's coming for SCB. You want to make offering, you want to, burn the incense, you want to say prayers, you can offer for flowers. For me, because it's not so convenient to have fresh flowers, what I do is during like every cycle of the moon, which is around once a month, is when I make the flower offering. So you probably come across it, as I mentioned, restaurants, cashier, shop entrance, market stalls, hotel lobbies. So it's part of the daily, opening routine to do something with the nangkwak, or for me, I have nangkwak and I also have Ganesh, Lord Ganesh. I will normally will do a Y when I walk past. So because it's also for me, it's about, being grateful, showing my gratitude for the energy to come into my business and my space. Next, please. Okay. Lord Ganesh. So in Thai, we call this Papikaned. The story is long. I'm not going to go into the story, but basically, he was the son of a goddess who had an accident, and then as a result, his father put an elephant head on him. He's a symbol of success, wealth, and good fortune. And every September, there is a ceremony called Chachutri. And I know some people who host them, but they will only accept 108 guests, which is based on the 108 names that Lord Ganesha's go by. And I think I went to it for like 9 consecutive years to these events. And why do Thai businesses have a Lord Ganesh, whether it's in the form of a statue or a painting or some form of art, or even amulets and rings, is because it's to remove problems, bring success. Lord Ganesh is to clear obstacles out of your way, attract money, positive energy, has, to give you wisdom, guidance. And yeah, it's part of the traditional belief here, because Buddhism, if you're not aware, came out of Hinduism. Next, please. Ah, Mani is the name of the Nangkwak from SCB. Thank you, Fluke. Okay, number 9, for those of you who have been here long enough, will probably know that Rama 9 was very revered by the Thais. And 9 has two meanings. So in Thai is Gao. So it's like Gao is to step forward, and Gao is the number 9, which is considered an auspicious and lucky number. And he was the longest reigning king of Thailand. And so Gao, to move forward, is to make progress, to be successful, and it's royalty. Next, please. Okay. If you have a vehicle or a telephone number, maybe you might have seen that, like, numbers that end in 999, you have to bid to get them. And so it's either you have to buy the number especially, or you get into a bidding, to get the number of that plate for your vehicle. And usually it tends to be expensive, more or less. And there's some auspiciousness to launching dates that has 9s in them. Next, please. Okay, Spirit House. We touched on this. Oh, okay, thank you. It's a lost arm on this one. Sorry, which one had a lost arm? Was it from Lord Ganesh? Or too many arms?
No, you go on the where you see the pictures with the 999.
Oh,
On the scooter, you have a arm coming out of the scooter with a smartphone.
oh, is it an arm? Maybe it's maybe it's a stick. I don't know.
It looks like an arm holding the phone.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe one of the teammates did that. Okay, let's go to the spirit house. I didn't even notice that.
ที่ล็อก
เป็นแขนใครอะน่ากลัวเนาะ Okay, so spirit houses. Um, it's important to maintain them because it is believed that the ancestors and the powers that be go and live there. The Chinese also has them as well, but it's more the one that goes on the floor, and they're usually red, and there's usually light, and they put like fresh food in there every day, like some kind of offering, whether it's like oranges or a little bit of small bowl of something, right? I think I've never seen any property without a spirit house. It's part of when you break land, that you ask the spirit that, even though you may own the land, you ask the spirit that you can come and build here. So it's a miniature temple, very, very beautiful, decorated, and it's usually, where how it's facing, the direction it's facing, and its location has also been feng shui for it to be there. So if you have a spirit house, it's part of your building. As an executive and a non-Thai person, I would make recommendation for you to visit it if you can. I do it monthly, but actually my prayers is done daily, but I don't necessarily do it at the spirit house. There's a spot that I usually do it just in front of my house on the grass. It's also based on my feng shui as well, but generally just making merit, making offering to my spirit house in my compound, I do it monthly, and there's regular maintenance, and I also buy different things for it, and I go to the office of the compound just to let them know, hey, I bought this, and if she says, oh, the spirit house is getting clean, I'll hold it for you, and then we can place it later, that kind of thing. So this is also seen as being somebody is respectful and mindful of the Thai tradition. Next, please. Okay, I think I've touched on all of these already about the food offering, the incense, and keeping it clean and neat, and And if you can't do that as the executive or the manager, then you could also assign a staff to take care of it on the daily, because it's seen as like something that needs to be, hygiene generally, just keeping the energy clean and flowing, and that it's inviting and welcoming for new businesses and clients. Next, please. Okay, vegetarian festival that's usually usually in November. It's a 9-month and for 9 days, and it's honoring the gods. Some of you, if you watch the television, you will see they'll also have a big procession in Phuket, and they're usually putting knives and things. I find it difficult to watch, but it's about spiritual cleansing, so that you're cleaning your system out and not eating animal meat or some will completely go vegan, no animal products, no cheese, no eggs, and it's basically to cleanse yourself out so that you have good fortune coming to you. Next, please. Okay, so here is what's allowed, not allowed. I've already touched on this just now. So usually you will see the yellow flags with red text on it saying that it's J. Whatever's J, they will mark it as such so that it has no animal products in it. Some office will do vegetarian options. Business lunch also has to accommodate. Sometime they will go full on just vegetarian just for those 9 days or for the month, depending on management and the leadership. Restaurants also make shifts for this as well. You will see they will have a special menu just for that, to meet the requirements of the people who are celebrating the vegetarian festival. Next, please. Okay. Job forbidden by foreigners. Now, this is done to protect the employment and the Thai tradition cultures. Now, some may not be aware of this, but we thought, in addition to the beliefs, we wanted to share this with you because there are some work that is just reserved for Thais only. So you will see on the far left the manual physical labor, construction work, agriculture, driving with some exceptions, right? So sales services like retail, tour guiding, beauty services, Thai massage, and accounting. And then the traditional Thai craft, those will be like the wood carving, the metalwork, making musical instruments, like the xylophones and the can, which is from Isan, textiles, and pottery. Next, please. Okay, Thai nicknames, what you can and cannot do. So we're almost wrapping up, guys. There are some executives that I come across who said they don't have nicknames, which I don't think is true. They just probably don't want to share it, right? Because maybe they find it like it was cute when they were young, but now as a the CEO of a large conglomerate or a big corporation, they may find it a bit too familiar with everybody. So what you want to do is use the word kun, which is the prefix that we often assign, and then their nickname like kun bang, kun oil. But as you become more familiar, then you can use P. But sometimes you have to sort out who's the P and who's the Nong. So P is the senior, Nong is the junior, right? So like P som, P nok. So it creates more of a warmth of familiarity. So like in my office, I often get called P. But what you don't want to do with Thais is like use their full legal name. It's seen as very too formal unless you're at a ministerial meetings or something like that. Like when it's super formal, then it could be appropriate. We don't just use our surnames alone, and or just nickname unless they have indicated that you can just call them by their nickname. Sometime, when I've worked with somebody long enough, if they keep calling me Kun Pacharee, I feel like, oh, but we've been doing business for like over a year now. You can just call me Kunui or something like that. Why does it matter? Because it's about the business culture and it's creating warmth and relationship building. And some foreigners I've met, there's a guy named Mike, and he's a international lawyer. He doesn't practice law in Thailand, but he helps Thai businesses do international contracts. And I think he decided to call himself Sombat, something like this. So like when, that's part of his introduction, because he's also been living in Thailand over 20 years. And it's him, and he's also married to a Thai woman and has Thai children. So it's not like he's literally making a joke, but he feels he's very part of the Thai culture. Next, please. All right, there we go. Do you guys have any questions? Because it's 3:02 and you might have other meetings and stuff that you might want to get to.